Back in the day, newspapers would tell you what we thought you needed to know. Now we ask. We ask our readers, we ask community members, we ask Canadians, well, what do you think about this, and how does this impact you and your daily lives? So we have a group called the Catalyst Group, which we launched, I would say, about 2 years ago. And that was a conscious effort of crowdsourcing, is really what it is, where we've engaged Canadians from different communities, everyone from soccer moms to academics to politicians, to be part of a group that helps us shape our content. When there are stories that are breaking, or when there's topics or policies that are important to Canadians, our journalists will engage the Catalyst Group for their opinions, for their feedback, for their the way that they look at the issue, and we will often use that content as part of how we shape the story. I think by involving the Catalysts, we recognize that we're in this together. It's a collective sharing of knowledge and information, and that we don't have the answers by ourselves, and that we don't necessarily understand the issues entirely. I think the biggest threat, and this is my personal opinion, is that aggregators play at the news. That's the way I look at it, whereas we work at the news. We work hard to get to the news. Consumers don't necessarily recognize the difference between the two. I think sophisticated, news junkies will see through it. But if I'm a casual consumer of news, I may not necessarily recognize the value difference between a HuffPost and the Globe and Mail or the New York Times or the Guardian. Well, I see the same thing happening with newspapers. I mean, it's not cheap to break a story or create content that is going to going back to informing or reforming the country, and to have that given away on a site that doesn't really have the same skin in the game as we do, I think is probably our biggest threat.
How is technology changing your world? Join the conversation at tvo.org/pull.